Mr. Blue Sky, please tell us why you had to hide away for so long. Where did we go wrong? Mr. Blue Sky, please tell us why you had to hide away for so long. Where did we go wrong?
What's up, guys? Revo TV here, and I know it's been a while. It's been a minute since I posted any video, so I'm gonna be doing a review today for Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2. So I got to see Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2 Thursday night, opening night, and man, I had a freaking fun time with this film. I had a really good time watching it. I enjoyed the heck out of it, so I'm here to give a review, give my opinion, give what I thought, and my critical analysis of the film. So, let's go ahead and get started. So, the film starts off right where the first film left off. So, right where Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 1 left off, if you guys seen it, is right where Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2 starts off. So, they're already this band, they're already this group, this group of mercenaries that are hired pretty much to do stuff and to go out and to accomplish missions for, you know, money or whatever you know, mercenaries do it for. So we're back again with the same crew. You got Star-Lord, you got Drax, you got Rocket, you got Gamora, and of course no more Groot, just baby Groot. And let's go ahead and get started with the characters, because I felt like that was a really big high point about the film, was the characters and the character development, especially in this second film as opposed to the first film. In the first film, we get a setup and we get introduction to the characters, so we get to know them. So Star-Lord, we get to know where he's from, how he comes from, and how his relationship with Yondu and all that stuff, sort of what that means to him as a character. And we get a backstory for Rocket and Drax and Gamora. Of course we get backstories, but in this second film we get a little bit more glimpse into certain characters, in particular Star-Lord and Yondu. I feel like those are the two main characters in this film that get a lot of recognition and shine for various purposes that honestly fulfill the film in a great way and make it feel complete in a great, you know, episodic form. So I don't want to give away too much, but Yondu is pretty much this character that in the first film he's very one note. He's like after you know, Peter Quill. That's his mission. In this second film they give him a lot of more motivations. They make him a more complex character, and they give him a lot more colors to play with and to shine with. And same thing with Peter Quill. In the first film we get a lot of the goofiness. We get the sense that he's this funny guy, right? But you don't get the sense that he's this leader until the end of the first film. And in the second film you truly do get a better sense of his leadership skills and what he necessarily means to the Guardians as a whole. And then of course there were some characters that I felt were underutilized. Drax, I think, is the biggest glaring one, because he only has like 2 sequences where he's doing something. Regardless of those 2 sequences, he's just there for comedy relief and for comedy filter. So, which is a bummer, because Drax, he's a destroyer. You want to see him destroy stuff. You want to see him be this character that is really strong and powerful. But he doesn't really get to do that. So that's a bummer. Gamora, we get a lot more into her character and what her character means to another character, which is Nebula. And Nebula pops up in the scene. Honestly, that's one of my negatives about the film, is that she just sort of pops up and like she's just there throughout the whole thing. She's almost like just a stand-in. I just don't necessarily understand her motivation. But that being said, throughout the second and third act of the film, they really hammer your head in with what her real motivation is and why she's there and what her purpose is and why she's like stuck there pretty much. And it's a great fulfillment, I feel, for the character. And also it shines a great light with her relationship with Gamora, which is how tortured these characters are. All of these characters are tortured. There's a great scene, a great moment in the film where Yondu and Rocket Raccoon have a moment together where they're sort of you know, realizing how tortured they both are and how that makes them more alike than different. And I think that's just a testament to how great these characters were developed and how great the characters were just established and throughout the first film, and honestly just carried through in the second film. Because honestly, if there was any other characters, and if it was just like any other normal mundane characters, I wouldn't be invested in the film. So there's a lot of stuff that they get away with because of the characters and because of how strong the characters carry the film. Like, for example, the second act of the film, I felt started to fall a little bit short of what it needed to be. It started to lose sight of what the story was trying to go for, especially because at the first act of the film is very strong. It starts off with a great opening sequence that I feel like a lot of people are gonna love. I won't say anything, but I will say that Baby Groot shines in that moment. And then the first act ends with the story supposed to propel and supposed to go forward, and you're supposed to get this continuation, right? This flow of the story. But the second act sort of like halts that, and you don't get a real continuation of the story until the ending of the second act and the beginning of the third act. Because the third act of this film, I felt, comparing it to the first film, was very much stronger. I mean, we get this climax that's really fulfilling and really gut-wrenching and really heartwarming. And it's really, really, really fulfilling as an audience member to see this and to go through this experience with the characters and to understand what they're going through and the struggle that they have within themselves. So, that being said, the second act did fall flat. It did there were just some things that I felt like you could edit out and fix and like maybe trim certain sections, maybe add a little bit more to this part, or just in general cut it down. And because I felt like the script was good, I just felt like the execution was a little bit off, and I felt that the second act really just made me like it just dragged on a little bit longer than I wish it would have. Another negative that honestly I wish I didn't have to talk about, because I feel like we're in an age where CGI is something that we shouldn't be worrying about, and is something that's really great in a lot of films, i.e. the Planet of the Apes films. In this film, there were certain moments where the CGI sort of just looked off. It looked weird. It made the movie feel like I was watching a cartoon at certain points, especially I'm not gonna go into specific scenes, but there were just moments where I felt like it could have been altered a little bit differently. It could have been made a little bit better, and I felt like the CGI really hampered certain scenes where it made it feel like, this is really a kids movie. Even though the Guardians of the Galaxy get more mature related, and they get more, they get away with a lot of stuff that I don't think parents would be agreeing with, but because Baby Groot's there, because you get these characters, kids can go watch this movie. But there is stuff in there that doesn't seem like it's for kids, not at all. So it's sort of this confusing thing when you get that sense of like, oh, am I watching a cartoon because there's so much CGI, or is this really just bad execution? And honestly, I just felt like it was bad execution. But for the overall film, I think it didn't ruin my experience. Again, like I said, starting off this review, I had a really fun time with this movie, guys. I really did. I had an enjoyment level that was surpassed from the first film. I think one of the biggest things about the first film that I loved was just how much fun I had. The only thing about the first film, and I'm not going to review the first film, but comparing it to this one, the first film didn't end as strong as this one did. So this one felt like it had a lasting effect on me that made me want to go see it again. Makes me want to go to the movie theaters and revisit this film time and time again, because I feel like that climax is something you want to feel and you want to have as an audience member. So, with all that being said, I feel like this movie is a really strong movie. It's a really good next chapter and movement forward for the Marvel Cinematic Universe and for the Guardians of the Galaxy in specific. So let's see. So let's rate it. So out of 100, what would I give this film? I would give this film probably a solid 88% out of 100. I felt like this movie was really strong. I felt like it would have been a perfect film had that second act been cut down a little bit more and tweaked just a little bit more. I felt like it would have been a lot stronger of a film That being said, I think this is a movie you have to watch in theaters. I think this is a movie you seriously have to see in the big screen and watch with an audience to get the full enjoyment and the full fulfillment of the characters and what they're going through and what the director James Gunn is trying to accomplish with these movies. Is like that sort of energy and that sort of vibe, and is very, 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 very reminiscent, and it carries through to this film from the first film. So there you guys go. That was my review of Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2. What did you guys think? Did you guys watch the movie? Did you guys enjoy it as much as I did? Did you guys have a higher rating for it? Did you guys give it a lower rating for it? I know this movie right now, probably the most divisive Marvel movie of all time. There's a lot of people that keep saying it's not as great as the first one, and there's some people saying that they loved it. So I'd love to see where you guys stand on that, because I'm sort of like in between. Like, I liked it better than the first one, but I definitely am not going to say it's better than, i.e., Captain America Civil War or something like that in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. But it, like I said, it's close to that. It's a really solid film. I had a really, really fun time. And if we're just measuring it off of fun, honestly, I would give it like a 95% out of 100. But because this is, I have to be critical and I have to be objective and look at it from a filmmaking perspective. Honestly, it hampers it down a little bit because they do have faults in the film. That being said, again, I feel like I'm like a broken record here, but you really do need to see this movie in a theater, and if you don't, you have to get a crowd to watch it when the Blu-ray comes out, because this movie is really fun and it's really, really it's really fun, guys. And it makes you feel like a little kid, makes you enjoy yourself more. So I need to shut up and give you guys what you need, let you guys off with. That was a complete fail. Let me rewind that. That was a fail. Hold up. So if you guys like this video, be sure to like it. If you guys want more of this content and want to see me review more stuff, which I will be doing, I apologize to everyone who subscribed and haven't gotten a video in a month. I will be more active, so be sure to subscribe to my channel. Make sure to support your boy, and of course on the bottom of this video you can do all of that, subscribe, like, whatever, but you can also click that Patreon logo and support this channel on Patreon. I do have a Patreon campaign, and if you guys are familiar with Patreon, you get to like support YouTubers or creative people in a fun, easy way that makes it accessible for you guys. So if you guys go on there and do that, I can give back stuff. Of course, it's not just you giving something to me and me not giving anything in return. I'll be doing like signed gives, like I'll sign stuff and give it away. I'll sketch something out, sign it, give it to you guys, do videos and all that stuff. All that stuff is possible, but you got to go to my Patreon account and you've got to be a member and you've got to help this channel grow. So I greatly appreciate that, and I think that's all I got for you guys. All that being said, we are Groot.